Good afternoon, everyone. I am your host today, Caden Crone, accompanied by
Gray Landreth, your co-host.
Today we have the beginner Overwatch Tigers up against the Clearwater Tigers. This should be an eventful game filled with exciting conflicts, strategical gameplay, and fun times.
Before we start, Caden and I would like to thank everyone for watching and ask all of you to like and subscribe, as well as turn on those bell notifications to never miss a stream.
As we load into this match, I want to talk about the Rocket League varsity game coming up. It's going on right now up against the Rockwood Summit Falcons. If you want to tune in and show some support for the Rocket League varsity team, please do so. As well as on Thursday, you have the Waynesville Experience team for Overwatch going against the North County Raiders. Please tune in on that 4 p.m. Going into this match, I would like to talk about some of the hero changes in the patch notes with the release of Season 13. Ramatra got some big nerfs as he can no longer pierce through shields. Malga got more healing, and Ryan got less shield.
And on the DPS side of things, so first of all, I'd like to clarify what DPS is for those newly turned in. We have Flex and Main DPS, both separate. But I'll get after that after we look at these bans. Antarctic Peninsula, Lijiang Tower, and Samoa. How do you feel about that, Caden?
This seems like the bans are very unfamiliar. Some new maps, Samoa and Antarctic, are both pretty new to the game. So it seems like they're looking for an old map. Ilios is the pick of the day. I like this map. Good outdoor playstyle. Lots of boops for off-the-map kills for easy point control. Anyways, going back to what you're saying about the DPS changes.
Oh, yeah. So on the major side of things, we have Sojourn, Sombra, and Baptiste. Sojourn has had a variety of buffs, all of which are making her extremely strong. So looking at it, her railgun energy no longer stops degenerating at 25 energy. Time before energy degeneration begins to increase from 7 to 12 seconds. Damage per shot increased from 60 to 80 and now generates 25% of the damage due to the enemy players as railgun energy. Now, for those unfamiliar, this basically is just a handful of micro buffs that now make Sojourn extremely, extremely strong. On the minor side, we have Hanzo, who got a very minor health buff.
Yeah. Sombra got a pretty big rework. No longer having infinite invis, just a 5-second invis. Pretty big nerf. I don't think Sombra's going to be played nearly as much. Baptiste got less recoil. Brig has more cooldown on her repair packs. Juno got a range nerf, so I don't think we're going to be seeing much Juno anymore on these teams. I'm not liking the Juno anymore. With that decreased range, it's really hard to play Juno. And those are all the changes for this upcoming Season 13 as we load into this match on Ilios. What are we hoping to see from...
I'm hoping to see Girthquake get multiple hooks off the map. For those who do not know, can explain why Roadhog has extremely high potential on this specific map.
Yeah, so if you guys saw in the middle there just a second ago, there's that big giant crater there. What that crater is, it's an off-the-map kill. So with the hook that Roadhog has, it takes them off the map, and it gets a free kill for your team if you just land the hook. That's all you have to do, and that's a free guaranteed kill.
We are now watching Waynesville's Leprechaun on Soj. As we previously mentioned, Soj got a massive buff, and Leprechaun, as a hit scan specialist, has high potential to thrive in this situation.
It does. However, an early pick on clones from the Malga, already utilizing that buff. Looking to see the Roadhog getting in on the active on the Malga. However, this Malga with the buff is seeing to do a lot up against this team. This might be a tough game for Waynesville if they don't hurry up and swap off these characters. Clones is the only one left coming back from spawn. Hopefully he can get back to spawn safely.
Clones has been known to play Pharah, and he is quite particularly good at this character, mainly because of the height versatility of it. We've known to see Clones get very, very big ults. What are your opinions on how that can affect the game here now?
With this 2 to 3 kill ults, there's nothing bad you can say about it. Only positive things coming out of this ult. Waynesville is looking to take back this point. They got caught off guard here, but with the tank swapping to Ryan Girthquake, I like that pickup against the Malga, stopping the flame, which stops his regeneration with his shield. We talked about how there's 100 less HP on the shield now. I don't think that'll make a huge difference up against this Malga.
Yeah, interesting pick. I do like it. It was just a little bit surprising to see after the recent nerf.
That it was. Clone's getting a good kill on the Pharah. Leprechaun dealing with the Lucio. The DPS are doing a lot for this team here, suppressing everyone.
Lucy won. What a good pick from Leprechaun.
Clone's getting another pick. Girthquake getting active in there too. They might have been in the front line, those 4, but Leprechaun was really stopping that Lucio from taking out the supports in the back.
It seems to me that Waynesville right now went from the initial start of trying out something new to immediately switching back to what they're used to. What's your thoughts and opinions on this developing Waynesville as a team?
It's absolutely crucial to go back to what you know. The Hog didn't work out immediately, although very good on this map. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You got to go back to what does work. And for Waynesville, that's going to be the Ryan comp.
And that is the Nano Mauga.
The Shatter, tremendous play there from the Ryan to take him out. Stop him for those few seconds, hopefully waste some of that nano.
They got the Mauga down, so now we're looking at a potential 3v2.
Yep. Girthquake in the backline, taking out the Ana. It looks like it might just be Girthquake left on the point. Girthquake struggling to deal with everyone, all these high mobility characters like Tracer. Lucio coming in with the beat for Clearwater. Girthquake falls, and it's just Leamy left on point, trying to stall out for as much percentage as we can as the team gets back. Eggshells with a good pick.
Clones, as we talked about, now has an ult. What are we going to see done with this bar ult?
Clearwater swap to the Ramatra. Big nerf like we talked about earlier, more of a rework. But how is that going to pair up against the Ryan is something I'm very interested to see. Clearwater kills Leamy, but however the Tracer does die. The Ram falls as well. Overtime for Waynesville. Clones is putting in a lot of good kills here.
I am very interested to see how this interaction works. Seeing that Ramatra previously countered Ryan, and now the fact that Ramatra can no longer punch through shields, it's going to be a very interesting interaction between these two.
Mm-hmm. Clearwater getting some touches on point to keep that overtime up. Tracer getting a lot of good touches, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the Tracer and the Ryan fall, and Waynesville takes the first point in this control map. They had a bunch of ultimates left, but it looks like they didn't quite need them.
That's what we like to see coming from Waynesville. Very good util usage, knowing what is good and what is not good in terms of team composition. Would you like to talk more about that, Caden?
Yeah, team compositions. A few of them that we just like to go over as we're in 2 rounds. Dive, very heavy on the Winston. All you do for dive is you focus out one target, single them out. That's not what we're running, but it is a very solid comp, especially on this map right here. Rush, very similar to dive. However, you just full go in on one person. It doesn't have to be on dive where you go behind them. All you do is you just push one person really hard. Dive, you go behind on one person. Rush, you just really push.
And on the other side of that, we have Brawl, which is a very close quarters-esque composition. It focuses on close range, high damage output.
What Waynesville's running right now is actually what you guys would see a Brawl. Very close quarters with the Ryan, the Brig.
The only difference is typically you'd also have a May to make it even more close quarters, and it just allows a lot of splash damage. And finally, we have Poke, which is long range. Typically when you think of sniper characters is Poke, as well as accompanied by Sigma.
Yeah.
So now we're getting into it. Wow, what a boot by the Ryan.
Yeah, Clone's already getting a free pick. Earthquake getting in there on the Ryan. Good job pushing the Mauga back. I just like to talk about eggshells on the Ana, keeping this Ryan up. Girthquake has a very aggressive play style, but Leamy and eggshells are right there with him, keeping him alive throughout this match. Credit to them.
And I really love to see, even though with this Reinhardt nerf, we still see he's still played and is still working out very well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as I say that, he did get taken out by Lil Droxity on the Maug.
Yeah. Mauga's doing everything he can. Up against the Ana, those antis are going to be huge if Clearwater can't find a way to stop that. We saw that right there. Good anti, and then Clones on the far up, picking up 2 before Clones falls. No DPS for Waynesville, and the tank just coming back. Just the support's on point. Taking out the Cassidy.
Wow, Leamybug is really doing a lot here, keeping both the Rhine and Clones alive while also doing damage to the enemy. And that's really the most crucial part about support, being able to effectively balance healing and damage.
This is very fundamental Brig gameplay. This is exactly what we love to see coming from the experience side of Overwatch.
Talking about fundamentals here, I also love to see Leprechaun constantly shooting out these pylons. When a Ilari pylon is down, it is very hard to constantly push and do damage to the team when it's being healed. So you just really love to see Waynesville taking those pylons out, taking that initiative, and making stuff happen.
Yeah, it's showing Waynesville's incredible Overwatch IQ in this instance. Clones are behind, trying to take out, but the BAP window taking him out, amplifying that damage.
What a massive shatter.
What a huge shatter. However, the Cassidy ult takes out 2, and the Ryan is 1 for Waynesville. Clearwater had to pop 3 ults, but they're going to take that fight with 97% left for Waynesville.
This is very interesting to see. We actually saw a solo ult there with the soldier on the height with the BAP, and it was more of a battle of ults right there, wouldn't you say?
I would 100% agree. Clearwater had a great combo going with the Mauga and then the Baptiste with the healing. However, Waynesville almost had them with the Shatter Brig ult. Those are really good combo, however, it just wasn't enough.
Unfortunately, in a game like Overwatch, you really got to watch that ult usage. For example, if you know that they busted out 4 ults, it's not even worth trying to use 2 when those will go to waste.
Exactly. Come back next fight even stronger with that ult advantage.
And that's something you love to see from Waynesville. Although we're still making mistakes, the beginner team is really working to improve on the stuff that they did incorrectly the time before.
And Clones on Bastion took out 3 of them that fight, and Waynesville is going to cap the W on this first map. That was an outstandingly good performance from Waynesville. Clearwater put in a lot of good work there too. It was a very close match. Clearwater taking a few fights from Waynesville.
Talking about the change in comp, what are we looking at moving from more of a dive comp last patch notes to this one?
I'm not entirely sure. I just like to talk real quick about this Bastion. That was a very, very good play of the game. 3 kill, cleaning it up for Waynesville. But going back to your question, I think depending on the map choice, we just saw a control map, and we saw that Brawl absolutely dominate from both teams. Mauga, Ryan, very close quarters, high damage. It was a very intense fight. Maybe on some of these further range maps like Escort or Hybrid, like we're just about to see coming up in these next few games, we're going to see a little more poke. These snipers are going to be a little more heavy dominated if there's a lack of dive.
So as poke, for the most part, the primary tank is Sigma, right? What's your thoughts and opinions on Sigma being one of the most consistent characters in Overwatch? He very rarely gets changed, and he's just always a A-tier character, always being ready to use in most situations.
Yeah, Sigma, he's not the best of the best, but is nowhere near the worst of the worst. When he came out on release, he took the game by storm, but he wasn't busted by any means. He wasn't broken. He wasn't killing the whole team just because he's that powerful. He was made really, really well. So credit to Overwatch for making such a well-balanced character. And I really like his fundamentals, using gravity on his side, and that range that he has over all the other tanks, that consistent range with high damage is something that you like to see. The only thing bad about Sigma is if they push you really hard, a well-coordinated team can take out a Sigma really easily.
I 100% agree. Talking about fundamentals again, let's go over the subsection of each category. So when we're looking at DPS, it can split into 2 main categories, flex DPS and main DPS. Main DPS, primary objective, mostly hit scan, is just to do constant damage. Always have the highest damage, just constantly applying pressure, whether it be on their backline, their tank, whether it be on another DPS. That damage is what's preventing them from pushing even harder. Then on the other side, we're looking at flex DPS. This one's main goal in life is not necessarily damage, but more picks or making an effect. Example of this is Tracer. Tracer can also be a main DPS in some situations, but it's all about that reverse role, that other side, playing the shadow to the main DPS's light.
100%. We have bans coming up for Escort. I'm hoping to see some long-range maps on the poke. Shambali Monastery band, a very close-range map, so maybe we're not looking for Brawl on this. Dorado band. We saw a Dorado rework actually coming out with this season. A little more attacker-friendly for this season. And Watchpoint Gibraltar for the last ban.
So, unfortunately, Kane, it doesn't seem like they're going to go with that pokey mentality, as you said. Watchpoint being one of the most long-range, height-dominated first points there is, as well as Shambali's first point being extremely long-range. I would suspect they're going to go Route 66 here. What is your prediction on what we'll go with?
I would say Waynesville's going to go with Circuit Royale. We as the experienced team like to lean towards Circuit Royale, and I know that the beginner team likes what we do, and they try to see what we do to help make themselves better. And Circuit Royale fits into that Brawl comp really, really well. Very close quarters, not a huge amount of high grounds, especially with the Circuit Royale rework with this season. Less high ground, more attacker-friendly, less long sight lines for that poke comp and all those snipers dominating. However, both wrong. Junkertown is the pick.
Touching on what you just said, Caden, that is something that puts BattleNet above and Blizzard above a lot of other games. They're constantly patching the game to make it more friendly, more fair, And you just really love to see a first point dominated map shifting. That way it's more attacker friendly. Wouldn't you say?
I couldn't agree more. This game, they're doing a great job of they're listening to their community more now. They're doing a great job of making sure, hey, we don't like these long sightlines. Can we do something about it? They added a banner on Havana to take out some Widow sightlines, closed up some maps on Havana. So they're adding all these different changes that we've been trying to get changed for a long time now. And I know that the Overwatch community is very, very happy with how this is going. As we're looking into the Junkertown, on this first map, we have Limi on the Zenyatta, and if I believe I'm correct, Mach Speed is now in on the tank instead of Girthquake on the tank. Very interesting pick. I thought Girthquake did really well on the Reinhardt. However, I don't know if he's a Junker Queen player, so this is potentially where Mach Speed is going to thrive.
Do we know if Girthquake has been fully subbed out, or is he just at a different role?
We're not 100% sure yet. We did see a Junkrat pick, which is known to be Girthquake's character of speciality. So maybe he's still in the game. We're not entirely sure quite yet, but we'll see as this comes out.
Touching on that, that's what another big part of Waynesville's work ethic. We love, Girthquake is still in, we love subbing, changing roles, and giving everyone an opportunity to thrive in their own environment.
Yeah. Girthquake already getting a really big two-piece on the 2 DPS. This is a huge kill. And then Mach Speed taking out the tank. Very punishing here.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
With the Zenyatta, the Discords are
rushing around
punishing.
The corner. Wow. What a play from Mach Speed. And we really love Mach Speed, a.k.a. Ethan around here. He's a very good team player. Very vocal, very good IGL in some cases. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah. And an IGL is only as good as the team behind him. We saw for these last few matches, Clones is getting a bunch of kills, Girthquake is getting kills, and then the supports are keeping them alive. So you can't necessarily IGL if your team isn't behind you. So credits to Ethan for being a great IGL, but credits to the team to being behind him and listening to him. Girthquake, opening pick.
That is the most important parts, as you're talking about. A good IGL can't make it. What is the saying here? A group of lions led by a sheep is not as good as a group of sheep led by a lion. And that's exactly it. You need a good IGL, but you need good teammates that are willing to listen and put pride aside and make what needs to happen.
Exactly. Clones, as we're seeing now, got subbed out for Neko on the Bastion. We saw Clones on Bastion in that last match. However, Neko plays a lot of Reaper and a lot of Bastion. This is a very good Reaper map with all these close quarters and TP positions. I'm liking this comp. The Reaper, the Junkrat, and the Junker Queen, as well as the Zenyatta, are all very punishing characters. So if Clearwater is ever out of position, this is easy and quick kills for this Waynesville team.
It's looking to me Waynesville's strategy is tank buster route. Shut down that tank, and the team is soon to follow. Would you not say that is? Because they are currently running Junkrat as well as Bastion, two heavy tank bust characters.
Yep. And then the Zen for the Discord for even more additional damage. 100% agree on the tank buster. And we're seeing that. However, Overwatch on the... for Clearwater, Overwatch is putting in that work with a great ultimate on the Venture character. Wow. I would think that was like a 3 or 4 piece in total for Overwatch. I didn't see Overwatch a whole bunch match game. Maybe a new sub in for Clearwater. So I like to see trying out new things on this beginner team for both teams.
Girthquake now has his tire, and he is known to go small, consistent kills. Junkrat's tire has the potential to get a 4 or 5 piece and have massive output play, but that's very rare. It's more consistent the way Junkrat are more how Girthquake uses it, getting those small, consistent kills, and even that can make a difference.
Yeah, 100%. Mach Speed swapping to the Orisa here to try and stop this Diva on the dive. Once again, just trying to take out this tank. Girthquake with the tire going in. And once again, getting 1 kill. Very consistent, very good. And then Mach Speed taking out the Diva with the Mercy behind.
Now on the Orisa. Orisa is a very, very good pick right now. What is your opinion on Orisa in the current meta?
Orisa in this current meta is really strong. Didn't get buffed or nerfed. But with these other tank nerfs, Orisa's once again rising up to the top. The high consistent damage, the javelins to stop those opposing tanks. It's really, really impossible for a team to push past unless they're really, really coordinated. And Orisa's very good at taking care of that. Girthquake got 2 staggers at the end of that last fight. Limi got caught emoting on payload and did fall down to that.
Big Diva ult potentially.
Oh,
massive Diva ult. And I've learned the hard way, once you say, Caden, that although hiding behind the payload, it doesn't actually stop the explosion because there's a gap above and below the payload. So even if you crouch behind it, you do in fact die. And that's what we saw for that 3-piece there. They tried to use that payload as cover and ended up getting an elimination.
Sometimes the payload works, but most of the time it doesn't. You just got to find that sweet spot. Leamy taking out the Bastion. Great punishing character on the Brig.
We are now seeing a Baptiste on the other side. Baptiste got a recent buff, and it made him more of a DPS now than ever. What's your opinion on supports having high DPS output?
The support job isn't just to heal. The support job is to support the team. And if you can support by doing high damage, then that's the way to go. Some support by keeping the team alive, or some support by taking out the rest of the team. Whatever does the most for your team is the best way to go.
Me and Caden actually saw this firsthand. Before this, we were playing a match of Overwatch to practice for the experience game on Thursday, and we actually got just absolutely rolled by a DPS BAP, just doing insane amounts of damage. In fact, I was on Soj and actually got out DPS'd as a DPS player by a support.
Yeah, I was feeling it for sure, that pressure and then the lack of my team being gone. That Baptiste was doing a lot of good work for that opposing team.
Earthquake, once again with a tire available and ready for use.
He's known for having constant tires with those consistent tires. High damage means he gets his tires back. Coming out with the tire. Here we go. Let's see what we can get. A good two-piece. Not to mention he also demeched the D.Va. However, he did fall to the BAP. Rally coming out from Waynesville.
And we love to see that target acquisition coming from Ethan, immediately swapping over to that Immor.
Yep. Good plays from there. We popped 3 ultimates on Waynesville, but it might just be enough to cap. Unfortunately, their D.Va gets the touch. With not a lot of ultimates left, it'll be hard for Waynesville to full cap. I take back what they said. Clearwater got off point for a second, and that second was all it took for Waynesville to push that all the way. Waynesville capping all 3 points with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock. Let's look at the scoreboard here.
Wow. We are seeing a lot coming from Girthquake. Lots of damage. Back to what you were saying before. It was, well, in the biz, we call that a C9. Would you mind explaining what a C9 is?
Yeah, it originated from Cloud9, one of the original pro esports teams for Overwatch. They got off point for a second, and then the other team capped. It was very, very unfortunate to see. However, we see Mock Speed with 21 kills and 2 deaths and 6.1k damage. That is very, very good work. The most kills and the most damage. The swap for Mock Speed on tank was a very, very solid play, I would say. Looks like he's thriving on his role.
He is now on Ramatra, if I do see correctly.
Yeah.
So, what I really don't think the Ramatra pick is personally good anymore. The biggest part of Ramatra's kit was being able to punch through those walls. I feel like now he's just a designated worse version of Ryan.
Yeah, and on this first point of Junkertown, it's really easy to run a poke comp here, so I was hoping for maybe a Sigma. However, we've never seen a Sigma from Waynesville, so maybe it's not the character they're picking. And Ram is a pretty close to poke with his long range and the shield, so maybe they're kind of trying to sub in that Ram for the Sigma as we start.
Wow, it really seems to me that Waynesville is thriving on the tank busters. We constantly see Bastion, and now we are seeing a Ram v Ram mashup. Who was the better Ram?
Unfortunately, the Bastion took out Mock Speed, but Girthquake taking out the opposing Ramatra.
And we got a big res going on here. That's one of the powers of Mercy. Mercy is an extremely good character for holding first point because a crucial death that would have taken 30 seconds to get back fully from now only takes 3.
Not to mention they spawn right there too. They don't have to do the long walk from spawn. Clearwater swapping off the Ram into the Zarya, trying to counter pick up against this Ramatra. Still looking strong.
Wow. Mock Speed zooming towards these kills.
Yeah, 100% doing a lot of good work. However, Mock Speed does fall to the Bastion and spawn. Mock Speed got a little bit adventurous there into spawn. And Neko falls next on the Bastion. Once the tank falls, the whole team typically falls after. Leamy's trying to stall out a point and get a kill. Successfully gets a kill on the Ana and is now trying to get out.
So the issue with this I see is potential staggering. Would you like to explain what staggering is, Caden?
Staggering is where you die like 5 to 10 seconds later than your team. It's a really, really good pro strat that when used correctly, you can get 20 to 50 meters, somewhere in that range if used correctly. And we saw Leamy just get staggered there. The Zarya did a fantastic job of staggering Leamy, getting that kill roughly 15 seconds later.
Leamy unfortunately getting squashed, as her name implies.
However, the Waynesville does come back with 2 ultimates, with the Ramatra ultimate. It looks like a really strong ultimate there, still doing all the damage that it used to do. The high noon for Clearwater just wasn't enough to take him out. See, Waynesville's getting a few staggers here. We see the Moira was left all alone on point, and we're seeing that hopefully Waynesville can get a good stagger here.
We are now looking at Nico trying to put down the tank, and that's one of the key best parts of Bastion. Just the incredible damage output when you're not being focused can have an exponential impact on the game, and that's what we saw here.
Mock Speed getting 2 kills, and then Girthquake with a consistent 1 kill on the tire. May not be the prettiest, but it is consistent. It's putting in that background work. Girthquake, another kill for that team. Getting these staggers for Waynesville, showing their absolute skill in this game of Overwatch, their experience that they have here.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah, this is very, very solid. Mock Speed trying to get some kills all up in spawn, but he gets in a little too far, forgetting about the Bastion, and he does fall. This is a perfect time for Clearwater to push in, and it looks like they're doing just that. Widow and the Moira killing both supports.
We're seeing a very similar matchup here, both Bastion and Ram. What's your opinion on this Widow pick? We personally, on the Experience team, have a very exceptionally good Widow by the name of Captain CSN or Carl. Yeah. Do you think they'll be able to capitalize off the impact Widow can have?
Maybe. It all depends on the Widow skill. Widow is one of the few characters where it's all on individual skill. That character with just the headshot capacity is so good. And we see Clearwater. May not be a headshot, but it is a kill. However, Girthquake avenges the Mercy, but it looks like the rest of Waynesville falls down to Clearwater. If the Widow gets 1 pick, that might be all that's needed just to start off that fight. And then the tank taking out Neko for a good final stagger.
As his name implies, I think Mock Speed right now is speeding in too much. I think he's getting very aggro when maybe none of his teammates are back due to those staggers, and that's kind of costing them more and more percentage.
Yeah. Clearwater using an ultimate, and Waynesville swapping onto the Diva. I'm not sure how that pick is looking up against the Ram. I'm not a huge fan. However, they try to go for a last-minute touch, but Clearwater caps and kills the team, which means just more meters for Clearwater before the next engage. I wasn't a huge fan of the way they took that point. They should have regrouped and come back together and said, hey, let's refight here on our own terms rather than fighting on Clearwater's terms.
Nico now has high ground. That's what you love to see. Positioning is one of the most important things in Overwatch, and height is the best sort of positioning. With this height, you're making them look 180 degrees above their head rather than, just left or right in the central area. By diverting all that attention, you are causing so much havoc on the enemy team, because when someone should be doing damage, should be protecting their team, should be healing, they are now focused on you.
And Clearwater, their Widow, they're making complete value out of that. They're getting those kills that are starting off these fights really, really strong for Clearwater. Eggshells got staggered earlier, but is back in the fight. Girthquake doesn't have a whole lot of utility to get out, and unfortunately falls. It looks like it's Mock Speed and then Eggshells on the Mercy. Eggshells falls, and it's just Mock Speed as Leamy falls as well. This Ramacha's doing a lot. Canceling the Coalescence from Clearwater. Very good play. Unfortunately, still falls, but that's a good play.
I think we're seeing right now, Waynesville, very, very good individual skill, but what we're lacking is that team coordination. And wow, what a pick coming from the opposition's Widow.
Clearwater's doing a very, very great job of playing together, and we're seeing their Moira get a ton of kills. We were talking earlier about the support from BAP getting more kills. Another headshot from Widow. Wow, looking like Captain CSN from the Experience team out there.
What an exceptional player he is right now. He's just making it so hard for the team to coordinate when every time you want to push forward, you are lurking over your shoulder, looking for that lurking Widow who's just has a potential to one-tap you.
And not to mention getting good staggers and first picks. So Waynesville can't really push up when they're down a person at almost all times. Look at that. Once again, Girthquake falls down. Girthquake trying to swap to Hanzo to take the Widow out. but it unfortunately doesn't work with that extended range on Widow.
So typically in pro gameplay, we see Hanzo countering Widow. However, I think on more of the high school collegiate level, we see less of that because it's very hard to make Hanzo effective. Can you speak on how difficult this character is?
Yeah, Hanzo's really difficult. You don't have that increased zoom like Widow does. So unless you have precision accuracy and that fall off on the bow, it makes it really, really rough to try and out DPS a Widow and out damage those headshots. The only way you do that is by landing consistent shots and hopefully out strafing the Widow. But with this Widow today, this Widow is absolutely putting in that good work for Clearwater, as well as the Ram, not to mention, just got a 3-4 piece with the ultimate on that fight.
So going into this next round, I'm really hoping that we can up our team play, become more of a conglomeration all together and really force the opposition from just getting those easy picks as we're separated.
Yeah, Box Speed formerly had the most kills in this last game. He still does have the most damage. However, the tank Droxedity, if I'm pronouncing that correct, has 35 kills. That is an outstanding amount of kills from this beginner team from Clearwater. It looks like they finally said, hey, this isn't what's working for us. Let's swap off and try something new. The Ramatra was working really, really strong for Clearwater. Looks like they practiced really hard when Ramatra was in meta last week and the weeks before. But now with the season change, it looks like they're still being able to put in that work with the Ram comp. That nerf didn't affect them too much.
We are now kind of looking at a mystery hero type vibe. Nico is now going on Torb, and Girthquake himself is going on Genji. This is very not common that you see just a full swap like this.
Yeah, an entire team swap. Eggshells on the Juno, as well as Limi on the Ana, and then Mock Speed on the Jungle Queen. Like you said, an entire team swap. Waynesville's realizing that what they're doing isn't working and they're trying to swap it up. I like their creativity here. Hopefully it works out for them.
Mock Speed putting down that Ramatra. Wow.
Yeah, we talked about earlier in this first round of this game, Mock Speed is very, very good at Junker Queen, and this is potentially why Girthquake got taken off tank for Mock Speed. This is what I like to see, going back to what he truly knows well.
We also see Girthquake on the Genji. You love to see Genji because he's really good at getting final blows, getting that final blow to reset his dash cooldown, and that allows you to just traverse the map in ways that other characters cannot.
100%. And get in their backlines and then get out immediately. One kill is all you need. But Clearwater back on the Widow, taking out Neko on the Torb, and then the Moira getting in, killing Limi for the trade. That's a good trade for Clearwater.
Girthquake trying to deflect punches. I'm afraid that is not how Overwatch works.
Yeah, the Vortex didn't allow Girthquake to move anywhere there. The Vortex pulls people down into the ground and doesn't allow them to get back up. So Mock Speed is the only one left on point and once again gets staggered. Neko finds himself all alone with 18 HP trying to get out. But I don't know if he'll be able to. If Clearwater's smart here, they take him out just like that. The Moira is really, really punishing this game.
It seems to me Clearwater has really, really stepped up their game over the past few rounds.
Yeah, especially on punishing here. Girthquake on the Genji to take out the Widow, but he does get distracted trying to take out the Bastion here. Wonder what Girthquake's thinking in his head. What is his priority in this game? However, Clearwater C9.
Wow.
Getting off point, which is really unfortunate because Clearwater was taking control of that game. They were finally finding their groove. So for Waynesville, this is good, but for us viewers who want to see something really good, just a good matchup overall, this is very unfortunate to see because Clearwater was finding their groove.
Wow, let's take a look at the healing numbers coming from Waynesville. We have Lemibug with 2,900, as well as Eggshells on 11,000. Wow. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong. Lemibug with 6,000 versus 11,000. So typically we see that because Eggshells was previously on that Mercy. Mercy has the incredible ability to put insane healing output out into the game, however, with little to no damage.
Yeah, that's about it, because on Mercy, you can only heal or damage boost. You cannot damage at the same time, which is what makes Mercy so unique and so uncommonly used by these pro teams, because usually on support, you want to see a multi-dimensional character rather than Mercy just being a single-dimensional character. Mock Speed going back to the Junker Queen, finding out that, hey, this worked out really well for me. Let me just continue with it.
We typically don't see eggshells on that Ilari on the offensive point. What's your opinion on Ilari on the offense rather than the defense when that pylon is a bit harder to move than rather if it was stationary?
Well, eggshells can find a good point on this cart where Clearwater can't take it out, then we're looking very, very good for Waynesville. However, Mach Speed does fall to the Junkrat. It looks like Clearwater looked at Waynesville and saw, wow, this Junkrat's working real strong. Let me do it. Moira taking out Girthquake on the Genji, and Neko is trying to suppress the other Bastion. A Bastion 1v1 here. Neko's getting in good damage and good suppression.
I think really the difference here is Clearwater's DPS, Overwatch 1 I believe it was really putting in that work on Widow, and now we can see him doing a lot on that Junkrat. So I think the key to Waynesville winning is not only playing as a team, but shutting him down.
And this is where you use such a dive comp. The whole team swinging on one person, diving over this tank, who has an overwhelmingly good presence. And with Winston, the bubble, Ramattra can no longer hit through that bubble. So Winston might be the character to play right here and just run an absolute dive on Overwatch on the Junkrat.
And we already saw the Girthquake on the Genji as is very heavy potential to work out very well. But will we see Waynesville recognize this fact?
Yeah, Waynesville needs to find something here where they can swap and they can be good. Even if it's not a dive, they need to find something that works out for them. Neko is on the flank on the Reaper. However, the rest of Waynesville is stuck in spawn. The Junkrat is hard keeping them in spawn and not a whole lot to do. Mach Speed trying to push out, but it's very, very unfortunate as Girthquake falls on the Pharah. Mach Speed gets one kill for Junkrat, or on the Junkrat.
Mach Speed really locking in now, getting 2 kills, pulling that ram, getting him out of position. I feel like what separates Mach Speed from every other tank is his util usage on some of these characters. I feel like he really utilizes these versatile abilities, such as that 2-dimensional knife pool and the axe.
Yeah, Waynesville here needs to take out that pylon to stop the healing, but instead they focus the Ramattra getting that kill. Overwatch, though, getting 2 kills on Limi and Neko with the tire. Different to how Girthquake plays Junkrat, getting 2 kills instead of just the usual 1. However, not enough, as the rest of the Clearwater is not there to take him out.
Mach Speed just really making a difference here. Mach Speed versus Overwatch 1, that is the amount of work we're seeing get put in right now. Would you like to talk about why Junker Queen is so good and how she has that anti as a ult as well as that bleed for healing, Siphon effect?
Yeah. Junker Queen can heal on her own, as well as can just do incredible amounts of damage and pull the enemy team out of position. Very, very strong. As we're in overtime here, Lucky for Clearwater gets a huge ultimate, and then Mach Speed gets booped into the air, causing his ultimate to propel him off cart. Very unfortunate. That Junkrat from Overwatch, that was an outstanding play. Whether it be luck or skill, that was still an outstanding play. Droxity from Clearwater on tank on the D.Va getting play of the game. This is that D.Va bomb that we saw. 3 kills, trying to hide behind cart, but it did not work. A 4th kill on the Orisa, cleaning up house.
Yeah, what an insane play by the D.Va. She got 3 eliminations there. It was just incredible. What a play.
Yeah. She got those good eliminations, and that's all that really matters, you know. We saw Waynesville kind of was doing a lot of domination in that first round, capping with 2 minutes and 14 seconds. But as we got into later rounds, Clearwater really started pulling back their game, and they said, hey, we got to lock in or we're going to lose this. And they locked in. The score is now 1-1. We're going into hybrid, which if you know, hybrid is a mix of control and escort. The control point meaning you have to cap 1 point full with 3 ticks, and then you have to cap the escort into 2 points rather than the 3 on escort. Very unique and a very good mixture.
And you love to see a close match like this. Going into round 3, and it's already 1-1. And for those Wayne's villains tuning in, the upcoming events are, we have a senior volleyball night tonight at 7 o'clock, I believe. We have a home football game on Friday at 7, as well as a band competition on Saturday.
Yeah, band competition is looking at state. You guys are going to see me there if you guys decide to tune out. It's at Battlefield High School up in Columbia, Missouri. Long drive, but hopefully we'll do good.
So, Hybrid, what are we looking at on these bands? What could you predict the bans being?
We saw that. Well, actually, Waynesville's on the bans now because they lost. Clearwater has banned that last round, but Waynesville lost, so Waynesville's on the bans. Waynesville doesn't like to use dive a whole lot, so I'm expecting Blizzard World to get banned. What are you expecting?
I'm looking at King's Row. We saw that other DPS was doing extremely well on Widowmaker. So on that first point, King's Row, that Widowmaker can have an astounding effect, and I think Waynesville will recognize this and bans King's Row.
Yeah, hopefully. However, they might play Kings Road due to their Ryan Earthquake on Ryan. If they say, "Hey, Ryan worked out really well for us, let's do it again." Banning
Ban on Hollywood.
Blizzard World.
That is a Caden-esque ban right there.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Blizzard World.
And Paricio.
Yeah. Paricio is a map that almost never gets played because it's so unique. It's so hard to push it with the incredible vertical height lines and then the overwhelming amount of sight lines that they have.
Branching off that, I think that's the common denominator here. Blizzard World, Hollywood, and Paricio all have various high grounds, height-dominated maps that have numerous ways to control height, and I think that's what Waynesville is trying to get away from. They're trying to get away, make it a more one-dimensional, flat fighting, fair fight. I think that was the accomplishment with these bans.
Yeah, Waynesville's never been a fan of these height-dominated maps. They're not a dive team, nor are they necessarily a poke team. They like the brawl, so we're seeing these brawl maps being left. Midtown, Eichenwald, and Kings Row are all really, really good for the Ryan comp. They're all really strong Ryan comps. Numbani, if Clearwater does pick Numbani, it is a little bit more height dominated compared to the other three, so that might be rough for Waynesville if they don't figure something out.
And I would agree. I think Clearwater here might go Numbani just because they're very high on that poke. They're 11 Ramatra. I think they can really counteract Waynesville's playstyle by going Numbani. They actually pick Eichenwald.
Yeah. Eichenwald, a very, very good pick. We see that with this new Overwatch season coming out and the Halloween stuff, it all takes place on Eichenwald. So maybe we'll see the Halloween version of Eichenwald. So we're loading in here. What are you expecting to see from Waynesville?
What I'm hoping to see is more team play, going back to that feel good vibes at the start of the game, how they went to characters they are comfortable with, and I think comfortability is really more important than what's meta, and that's what we saw with Ryan. When he was playing Ryan, he was putting a lot of work, and now they kind of shifted back to that Ramatra play, and I'm really not a fan. I think Waynesville needs to play backyard football in a sense and really dig deep with these picks.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Backyard football is the way to play the game. I prefer backyard soccer a little bit more. A little bit more fun, a little bit more engaging for me.
So to you viewers out below, comment down below, what do you prefer, soccer or football?
Or I guess football versus football.
Hey, as they say it.
So we're looking, once again, a very similar...
Hey, this Junkrat busted out the moves. That is me after Waynesville scored that first game. Getting crunk with it.
So yeah, Waynesville's... going back to a little bit of foundationals here, the Zen, the Junkrat. Moira is coming new from Eggshells. However, we saw Clearwater have a very good Moira. Maybe they're trying to look at that and say, hey, we need that as well.
Very good at confirming kills now, just because that constant fade, as well as the damage orb, and just the fact that she does so much damage. I find myself talking about this every single match, but Moira has gotten a damage buff every single patch note for the past 5 patch notes, man. We love a DPS Moira around here. Isn't that right, Caden?
Well, she didn't get above this patch note, so I guess you're wrong about that.
Just the 5 before that.
Oh, we're starting it up here. Clearwater also running the Ram, going back to what they like, the Ram Moira.
Good pin.
Both teams are playing into how they like this game. Whoever's better at this point. Eggshells is doing exactly what Clearwater was doing before, getting a pick. Leprechaun is back in the game.
Hit scan specialist. As we called him before, we are now going to see him put in that immaculate work on this hit scan.
Hit scan is so very versatile. very good in every single comp. I'm glad they brought Leprechaun in and realized that, hey, we need a hit scan here. So I'm hoping to look forward to seeing a lot of good plays coming out.
What's your opinion on the support ults and how big of an impact they can have, such as the Zenyatta? The Zenyatta has almost charged up his ult, and he has one of the most groundbreaking ults in the game.
Yeah, Zenyatta ult pretty much does infinite healing. It's hard to die in a Zenyatta ult unless it's a one-hit boom like a D.Va ultimate. It's super strong, game-changing, fight-winning. It's absolutely changing this game. Supports have some of the best ultimates in the game overall.
We're now once again
fight.
seeing Leprechaun try to focus out these supports, and that's what you really need to notice as a main DPS. You got to understand that target acquisition matters. I can't always be shooting at the tank. I have to constantly be putting pressure on those weaker targets, enabling them to do less things.
Yeah. However, Mouse and Overwatch are doing a tremendous amount of damage up against Waynesville on Echo Bastion, high burst damage. And Leprechaun is left behind as the rest of the team falls first, and that is a good stagger from Clearwater. Girthquake with the ultimate, Leamy with the Zenyatta ultimate. Waynesville's ultimates are coming online. However, so is Clearwater's. Moira falling off the map. Slippery toes.
Slippery toes indeed. We are now seeing Girthquake's big tire just going for that simple kill on their Ramatra and led to their Ramatra's death.
Yeah, Leamy Bug, a good follow-up. Waynesville had to use a few ultimates there to win that fight. However, I think that's a good fight to change the tide back into their favor. Overwatch can be a very momentum-based game, and so if you don't have the momentum, it's kind of hard to win. But it looks like Waynesville has the momentum back.
We are now hearing the Bastion audio cue of that ult, and wow, predicted it. And a counter-active ult for the Zenyatta. I think one of the most important things that isn't very talked about in Overwatch is sound cues. How important identifying ults and where they're at can be. Right there, I heard the Bastion ult, and off that, I was able to establish that I probably need to move, not stand stationary, or that ult has the potential to kill me.
Exactly. Clearwater, Ram Ultimate. This Ram Ultimate has been changing the tide for Clearwater. It's been winning almost every fight it's used, but the Nano was used with it, so that extra damage and the Coalescence for even more healing.
I think that was a 4 elim coming out of the tank.
Yeah. Waynesville's coming back for this next fight. Popping the Soj ult early to help push Clearwater back to get the tide into their favor, playing on grounds that they want to play on their side.
I think Junkrat's extremely good on this point, just considering the fact of the geometry involved. You can't really have LOS over this rock, so peeking can be really easy on the defender side. But as Junkrat, you can kind of just spam your rockets over the wall, doing countless damage.
Yeah, it's very, very easy and fundamental here for this Junkrat to get high damage. This Bastion from Clearwater got in, but unfortunately...
Oh, massive ult.
Yeah, absolutely massive ult from Mach Speed, killing the Bastion and pulling the rest of the team out of position to hopefully win this fight from Waynesville.
Mach Speed, more like light speed, the way he is just eliminating everyone in his path. There goes another, and another after that. He is getting licks on all of them.
Yeah, Mach Speed is putting in that good work right now, but the team is also following up behind him. We saw he might not have got every final blow, but the team was definitely there to help him.
Mach Speed immediately pile driving that Ramatra, kind of pushing him back with all that util. Unfortunately, he has so much support coming his way, and just put Mach Speed down. We did see Girthquake get a singular pick with that ult. And although I think it's really good in practice to go for those one, when it's a situation like that, I feel like you have to go for the 3-4 piece just to change the tide and allow your team to keep pushing on, even though they don't have that tank.
Yep, Girthquake got left in a very out of position spot. Hopefully he can make out of it and doesn't get staggered by Clearwater here. If he gets staggered,
wow,
it'll be very unfortunate.
What shots from Leamy Bug? And she has ult. This can be a very, very big moment.
Transcendence to counter the Clearwater's Ramatra ultimate. This healing here is not going to let the Ramattra do anything.
And Discord Orb. Lemibug is doing a fantastic job at just trying to counteract the enemy's tank.
Yeah, Lemibug does fall. Droxity got his revenge. He said, Lemibug, I'm tired of you. Took him out. Echo copy from Clearwater to take out Mock Speed, as well as the Bastion. Clearwater's trying desperately to win this fight, and it looks like it works out for them. Clearwater is once again trying to keep this on their playing field and have the cart pushed back, because when Waynesville's not on the cart, it slowly pushes back, allowing Clearwater to hopefully get another fight. Leprechaun is left behind, and with the Echo and the Moira pushing, it looks like Leprechaun might fall here.
I don't think so. Leprechaun got 2 of them low, and it was only DPS and support. At the I was wrong. At the very least, he was pulling that attention away from his team on their way back.
And he was. But by doing that, he caused him to die a lot later, which might be a struggle for Waynesville. However, Moxby, back on the Junker Queen, is taking out Mouse on the Bastion.
I think Moxspeed's just generational talent for this util usage is pretty impactful, especially on the JQ. We see those knives and how far they can pull everyone. And we are now looking at Leprechaun's ult called Aimbot, just doing insane work.
Yeah, gets 2 kills for Waynesville, and that should be enough for Waynesville to win the fight and then cap the point with roughly 35 seconds left. That was a very, very good ult from Leprechaun, taking out those kills and starting that team fight off strong.
Those 2 elims can make a huge impact, just fight to fight. Let's look at the stats here. Mock Speed 15-4-4, Leprechaun 12-6, Girthquake 13-4, Eggshells 11-3, Lemibug 10-6. And I think the biggest difference here, we really got to focus on just the healing. We have a 3K to 6K healing, and then on our side we have 8K and 3,000. So just our little bit extra healing is making a massive difference.
Yeah, it's very hard to push in or hold if you're Clearwater and you don't have quite as much healing as Waynesville. Waynesville supports are doing a lot for this team and keeping the team alive. So props to them for doing in that good work.
What would you like to see in on composition and how they play this? Like, for example, on the experience game, if we were playing this next Thursday, how would we play it?
You know, if we were playing this game, we would go back to what we are tried and true at. You know, the Sojourn from Leprechaun was doing really well. The Ramatra or Junker Queen is working out really well for Waynesville. So let's keep those picks strong and then just revolve around those picks. Whatever's working strong for us, we just need to play into those and do good.
I think that's typically how we play, especially with you and your immediate fallback pick of Zarya, as well as Captain Season's Cass and Widowmaker. Both exceptional picks that sometimes when you're doing good and on a roll, you just have to enable them to do more damage, to do more, to give them that outplay ability.
Yep. Starting up second round here, Clearwater is on attack. 4 minutes to push in. Let's see what Clearwater can do.
Lemibug, unfortunately, there was so far in front of his tank that he could not cushion any more ammunition. So, although unfortunate, Leprechaun also got a counter pick. So we are now looking pretty good. It's a 4v4 as of right now.
Yeah, 4v4s are just pretty usual. All the time your teammate goes down and can get one. So you have to be comfortable in these 4v4s and not panic. We're seeing Ram can't punch through those barriers like we talked about earlier. The other Ramatra was able to play off of that. And then the Moira getting another kill on Leprechaun. This is very good for Clearwater here. They're finding ways to outplay Waynesville, but Girthquake is just shutting them down, closing that door.
Hey, some would call it a Richter 5. Doing insane work. We love to see it coming from Girthquake. I love to see, as an Apex Legends varsity player who, got third in state, I love to see the bubble fighting. Bubble fighting is a crucial part of Apex Legends at some points, depending on the meta. And right now we are seeing that in Overwatch. We are seeing the bubble fight with the Ramatra because he can no longer punch through it. I personally love this change. It allows for more outplay ability and puts an emphasis on your movement as a tank.
Eggshells was the last on point, but does fall, and Clearwater is able to take that point away from Waynesville. All right, Waynesville has the high ground here. Junkrat is very, very good in keeping these doors to stop from Clearwater from pushing. So as Leprechaun shooting in with that hit scan.
Very good at spamming. Very good at like making these small places unplayable.
Yeah, 100%. And Girthquake gets the kill there with the trap. Unfortunately, the Moira found the trap, and Girthquake was able to take good positioning to kill that.
We now see Lemibug and Leprechaun getting sprinted at by this Ramatra. Literally.
Echo copies the Ramatra and pops the ultimate to take out Mach Speed on our own Ramatra. However, Leprechaun and Girthquake doing all they can to level out this fight, killing 2. It should be a 3v3, but Overwatch on the Echo is doing tremendous amount of work. I'm surprised that Overwatch is not an experienced player at this point because he is doing tremendous things.
Tremendous.
Waynesville here looking to regroup and take this fight to hold the point from Clearwater to cap. Waynesville only got 36 seconds on attack, and with Clearwater's 3 minutes at this point, they're going to have to find a way to stop them. Hopefully stop them all in all, but just at least slow down their time.
And Waynesville's pocketing on to like multiple ults here, so worst comes to worst, they do have the potential to just ult fight and pop those ults and secure the W.
That they do. Clearwater's used a few ults already, but every time they use an ult, the team always plays behind that ultimate, and it always secures them a team fight win. So Clearwater's playing really, really strong Overwatch. I'm hoping that Waynesville can look at that and be like, hey, we should do this, and then do it even better.
Droxody just with those exceptional Ramatra ults. Girthquake now with the tire. Insta-died Overwatch. Doing insane things, making the biggest impact for this team.
Yeah. We can tell Clearwater revolves around Overwatch and the tank. Those two work really, really well together. Moxby tries to ult to take out the Echo, but does fall. Very unfortunate because it is such a strong ultimate. Girthquake going to cast. He said it's one of his favorite characters when I talked to him before the game. Hopefully this should be enough to shut down the Echo.
What a hinder.
Not to mention this diving Moira, who seems to be a trouble for Waynesville. The hinder grenade stopping the movement from Moira should be enough to take him out.
Swinger be swung, as they say, and Girthquake did the swinging.
Ramatra, nano ultimate is incredible amounts of damage and damage suppression.
And Mach Speed is just going toe-to-toe, tit-for-tat, head-to-head with him. And unfortunately, it did not work out for Waynesville with almost a 2-minute difference on Clearwater's side.
If you're Waynesville here, what are you going to do, Greg?
Me personally, I am playing complete counterwatch. We see that the Echo's doing really good, and we see that Ramatra is doing really good. We need to shut down the ults, get us a Zen. We want a Zen, we want a Juno for the ult, we want double hit scan, and we just want a consistent tank that can keep everyone alive. And those are my way. I'm completely counterpicking my way around this exceptional tank.
Yeah, Waynesville tried that at the end, but unfortunately, the amount of ultimates that Clearwater had was enough to take out Waynesville in that last team fight. Looking at the scoreboard here, Mach Speed is doing a lot of damage, but unfortunately, it's not enough to take out Clearwater's exceptional amount of damage. We're talking about Waynesville having superior amounts of healing, but when Clearwater does a little bit more damage than Waynesville, Waynesville's obviously going to have a little bit more healing than Clearwater is, so it all kind of balances out.
What a close match this is. Back-to-back overtime. This is extremely impressive and fantastic to see as the viewer. Head-to-head, just such a close game. Either side could pull this away.
Yeah. Starting in the overtime, Waynesville's on attack with 1 minute on the clock to cap and hopefully cap all 3 points. Although unusual, it is not impossible. All right, Waynesville killing the Bastion on an early pick from Girthquake's Hinder. Very, very good early pick. However, Waynesville needs to push up really quickly to hopefully cap this first point.
I think if I'm in Waynesville position here, I might put Girthquake back on tank. What's your thoughts on that?
I liked it. Mach Speed is in no way doing bad at all, but the team seemed to revolve around Girthquake just a little bit better rather than Mach Speed on tank. No fault to Mach Speed or no hate on the team, but it just seemed like the way Girthquake plays tank is a little bit better for this beginner team. Mach speed is on point and does take out the Ramatra, but falls. With 5 seconds left on the clock, Waynesville has to take something and run with it to cap this point. And it looks like Waynesville did just that. They took the point from Clearwater and now have to push the payload. But we got to remember they cannot get off point. Looks like Leprechaun is the one designated to stay on cart. If he gets off cart, it's game over.
I like to see this designation from Waynesville, giving Leprechaun his sole job to just survive and live on top of that point.
I was kind of hoping that it was Girthquake because Leprechaun on the Reaper doesn't have a whole lot of range, while Girthquake on the Cassidy does. But unfortunately, nonetheless, it is working for Waynesville.
I think the difference is, and the reason why they put Leprechaun on point, is because he can hide and play around it, making it shorter range, as well as his just sheer survivability with that get out of jail free he has for a Q, and his TP where he goes invincible for a second.
Mach speed is going Ryan to counter the Ramatra. This is brand new to Overwatch. Usually it's the Ramatra to counter the Ryan, but it looks like Ryan is doing a fantastic job up against this Ramatra.
Girthquake taking this off angle, trying to get an early pick on this Bastion. This is the initiative you need to see when it's this late in the game. You have to make those plays to get the win.
And this is probably the third time I've seen this Moira fall off the map for Clearwater. If Clearwater wants to regroup and stop Waynesville from capping 5, maybe even 6, Waynesville needs to stop them, or not Waynesville, excuse me. Clearwater needs to stop falling off the map and regrouping so slow.
We now see Reaper getting off the cart, and I think now it is up to the Brigette.
However, with the Reaper off the cart, Waynesville gets a little too aggressive and hops off cart. We said it earlier, if they get off cart for 1 second, that's round over. And look at what happened there. They said, Leprechaun, you're on point. Leprechaun said, hey, I have an ultimate. Let me use this. And then the rest of the team decided to play up on that.
Just a prime example of uncoordination.
Yeah. Very, very difficult to try and play up. It's hard to designate in these crucial times where the pressure is high, the emotions are high. It's hard to say, hey, you need to sit on cart when everyone has something to offer, and it's hard to designate who should do what. However, Clearwater has 3 minutes and 22 seconds to push. Let's see what happens here. Eggshells on the Kiriko, 15k healing, the most healing in the lobby, is doing tremendous work here. Leamy Bug, 5k healing with 6k damage, more than Eggshells here. We see the difference in playstyle from Eggshells' high healing and Leamy Bug's higher damage. These two are playing off of each other really, really well. I'm hoping to see that they just play off each other a little bit better. Maybe Leamy Bug do a little bit more healing, or Eggshells do a little bit more damage, and this game should be good to go for Waynesville.
We now see Girthquake on the Torbjorn. I haven't seen Torbjorn too much other than that one use by Nico, especially in experienced varsity. So what's the difference here? Why is Waynesville now starting to hop on that Torbjorn train?
Torbjorn, the turret has auto-tracking aim, so taking out that echo that's been doing so much on this Eichenwald map is probably the thought process going through there.
And Leamy Bug just getting in there like swimwear. Dashing in with that shield and getting to swinging.
Yeah, that is how you play Brig, you gotta get that uptime up. However, a little aggressive, but that is exactly how you have to play Brig. You have to constantly have uptime up.
A TP coming out from Leprechaun. Can he make a play here? He did. Killed the Ramatra.
But the Ramatra gets the Kiriko instead. So a decent trade there from Ramatra, but Girthquake taking out Mouse, and then Leprechaun taking out the Moira.
Leprechaun really shining on the Reaper. And I think another reason why Girthquake went for this Torbjorn pick is he's really good at punishing very small and tight angles. We see him here just sitting on this corner, spamming the little chokehold and making it really, really hard to push in.
Yeah. This team with the Ryan, the Brig, the Reaper, and the Torb they're looking for more of a holding comp. They don't wanna fight. They just want to stop the other team from pushing in. They don't want to push up. They want to hold this corner to the day they die.
You're seeing Eggshells here, kind of miss aiming there on the heels for the tank, and that might lead to the overtaking of this point.
Earthquake uses ultimate as a last shot to try and stay alive, but the Ramontra with his incredible amounts of HP takes him down. Leprechaun's last one alive with an ultimate. Is he going to use it? He is, but it's not enough to take him down. It was almost looked like it was a panic ultimate. You know, he was last one alive, and he said, hey, I need to try and get this. Mach Speed on the Ryan, a huge shatter, going off strong, trying to kill the Bastion, kills the Bastion successfully. Is this enough for Waynesville to take back point?
I think this is exactly enough to get back on point, and that's why Leprechaun used that ult to provide just enough distraction, just enough time for our Reinhardt to get back.
Yeah. Nanoed Ramatra ultimate here with an anti on Lemibug. Lemibug falls. However, the Moira and Ramatra fall from Clearwater. This is an equal playing ground here. What is Clearwater going to do?
It seems to me that Rally was just able to kind of stop that Ramatra ult. And it's just really good gameplay coming from Waynesville. Stalling the point, the entire team will be back, should be back before the next fight, and this will allow them to hold for the next 30 seconds. Coming down to the wire.
Yeah, Waynesville here is looking very, very strong, finding their groove. I'm wondering what kind of music they're listening to find this groove.
I personally like listening to classic music when I play. It's known to really help you concentrate. Examples of Beethoven and Mozart.
I like jazz when I play a little bit. It's very calming, very soothing, or some lo-fi beats. You don't want something to distract you from your teammates' comms, but enough just to help you focus. All right, Waynesville stops Clearwater from taking that point, and they take the third round, making it 2-1 for Waynesville. One more, and that's game.
42 bomb for Mach Speed.
Yeah. Droxity from Clearwater getting another play of the game on the Ramatra. This is when he got nanoed and won them that fight for the third point.
He's looking like prime Mike Tyson out here, just throwing them sluggers.
100% mouse, not to mention cleaning up them kills. Looking on push, if you don't know what push is, where there's a robot trying to push a barrier to each way, almost like tug-of-war, wouldn't you say, Greg?
Reverse tug-of-war, but yes.
Reverse tug-of-war, excuse me. So there's going to be 2 bans here from Clearwater, as they were the losing team in the match. And then it's going to be 2 maps to pick from for Waynesville. Usually we'll see Runasapi and Esperanza banned from the opposing team, leaving Coliseo New Queen Street, with Coliseo being the heavy favorite almost 9 times out of 10.
I think that's primarily because just the lack of diversity in the other maps. When we're looking at Esperanza, it's just a lot of tight corners, a lot of big brawl map, as we talked about before, heavy on that May, that Ramatra. And I think we're going to try to play less into that, considering, they have done exceptionally well on that Ramatra. Look at the new Queen Street. It's an all right map. It's just very, very basic. Once again, tight corners, but there's also a little bit of height and different angle set, and this can cause lots of problems. And Rutsabi is just an extremely new map. All of these factors lead to Coliseo being the primary pick when and if it goes into push. Some characters we can expect on Coliseo are Widow. Oh, wow. What a surprise. Runsapi and Coliseo banned. This is the first time I've personally seen this when it goes to push. Will we be looking at a new Queen Street or a Esperanza? Caden, what's your opinion after this very, very surprising Coliseo ban?
Yeah, you guys heard me say Coliseo is what I thought was going to be picked 9 times out of 10. However, I got picked wrong, so Queen Street is the pick. It is one of the original 2 push maps for Overwatch 2 when the game released. Excuse me. Yeah, so new Queen Street from Canada, where Sojourn originates. A little lore drop for you guys. It's a very open map compared to Coliseo and all the other maps. So this map provides a lot of good sight lines and a lot of good playability for these close ranges. Although maybe not tight, it is very close.
And that's exactly what I was saying before. Has so many different, so much variety on which ways you can push. There's different ways. So many different ways you can push and get around that opposition.
Yeah, I 100% agree. All right, looks like Clearwater is trying to decide what they need to do to win this last match up against Waynesville. Last time we had a 2-2 for the beginner team, and we had to forfeit due to the time restraints. We have some kids who need to go home a little bit, or not lower, at 5:30 because they take the bus home. So unfortunately, we had to forfeit that one, which kind of is a loss for us. However, I'm hoping that Waynesville wins this push map, and so this does not go into a situation where we need to forfeit it.
Really, really rooting out for Waynesville here. Maybe another swap. Could we potentially see a sub in the future?
We for sure can. There's like 7 to 8 kids on the beginner team. There is a lot of good talent on that team, which all can be utilized to the max. As we're sitting here waiting for the push map to start, I just want to say, everyone, thank you guys for watching and supporting us, supporting the team that's going on, as well as like and subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and hopefully you guys are having a good time watching this game and the absolute talent fest that is going on right now.
I 100% agree, and just, wow, what a good day. What a good day it is.
Why is it such a good day, Gray?
Hey, I'm enjoying it. Woke up on the right side of the bed. What can I say?
You woke up a little bit late, that's for sure.
Hey. Yeah, we don't got to tell the audience about this. Well, anyway, back to the game. It should be starting up anytime now. Hopefully sooner rather than later to change the topic. Might have a few tardies here and there.
Gray, let's hear your best dad joke.
Why did the Rolling Stones stop making music? Because they got to the bottom of the hill.
Wow.
I'm a giggling.
That one was great, Gray.
Hee hee ha ha.
You want to hear my best dad joke?
Yes, go ahead.
What does a nosy pepper do?
What?
It gets jalapeno business.
Real knee slapper that one was, Caden.
All right.
And we are now getting word from our producer and coach, Mr. Labor. He is, in fact, rolling in his chair of laughter and crying out of just pure joy. Wow. Wow, what a joke. What a joke.
All right, we're loading into this push map right here.
In Toronto.
In Toronto. A Sigma.
A
Wait,
Sigma.
back on tank. I wanted to point that out for the audience. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and so hopefully Waynesville, with the Earthquake on tank, is going to do a little bit better and make these fights a little bit more one-sided for Wayne.
And as we said before, we have never seen Waynesville beginner on a Sigma. So how do you think he will perform under pressure in a situation like this on a new character?
I don't know if this is a new character for him, but new character for the team. So they might have struggles working around it, as well as I don't necessarily like the Sigma on this map. He's very close quarters, very brawl. So I'm not a huge fan of it. However, I am a fan of this far from Clones. Clones is coming back in the game. We saw him match 1 doing a lot of terrific work for Waynesville. We're hoping to see that again.
Lamebug, once again, over pushing, but that's okay because we are seeing Clones pushing this Bastion out of position, nuking that Kiriko just off the face of the planet, potentially getting another. There's a 2-piece coming from Clones.
Yeah, Clones is coming back and is already showing that he is the turning point for this game. However, he does fall to the Junker Queen, but Neko is able to take care of business and clean up what Clones could not. But what a crew Waynesville has. You have the people who do the big work and they get those few picks early on or that high amount of damage. But not to mention you have that night shift, that crew that works behind the lines that you wouldn't expect, but they're getting those final blows. They're getting that extra little damage in to keep that team alive.
Unfortunately, Lamebug going down, but also taking that Bastion with him.
Yeah, Lamebug needs to play a little bit back, used to playing with the Ryan. We talked about this. Playing with the Sigma is very, very different. You play a little bit slower and wait on the picks. Lamebug is having a little bit of a hard time adjusting to that.
I think the reasoning for them going Sigma here is just to kind of stall. He has a lot of abilities that have potential to stall. He has a rock to sit you on the ground just for a while, and then he has that suck that just takes all of the ammunition poured into it and converts it into
armor and extra HP for him. The more you shoot it, the more armor you get. However, up against the JQ, we just saw a JQ ultimate. It gets in there and it absolutely stops the way Sigmas want to play the game. So it's hard to make it a little bit different, you know.
Like we were talking about here with that rock, he just launched that rock at that JQ and sat her down for approximately 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, Lil Droxity is on the Widow instead of Waynesville before, or not, sorry, excuse me, Overwatch before on the Widow. Overwatch is out of the game on the DPS portion. Mouse and Lil Droxity is on the DPS. Overwatch is on the tank, excuse me. Excuse me if I said Waynesville was on. I meant to say Overwatch, sorry. I used to saying Waynesville. I did not mean our team. I meant the Overwatch username from Clearwater, who is now on Junker.
We now see Girthquake and Lemibug both have their ults primed and ready to go. I'm hoping to see what is that melody coming out soon.
If you didn't know, that's Sigma's ultimate line.
It just has so much aura, wouldn't you say, Caden? Incredible aura. Some would say immaculate aura.
Absolutely cool.
Boom, what a rock.
What a rock.
And like this.
But this Junker Queen is doing high pressure up against the Sigma, playing the game the Junker Queen wants to play the game, rather than playing the way Sigma wants to play the game. And that's how Overwatch is. How do you want to play the game, and how do you get the other team to play the game you want to play the game? Is it by the damage, or is it by your play style?
Our Sigma here just looking like prime Cy Young, just throwing absolute curveballs.
I don't know curveballs, but, you know, maybe heaters.
Hey, you never know. Oh, what is that melody? What are we looking at? We're looking at big work being done. Oh, but counter ult.
The melody was kind of peaceful because there was no kills going on.
Zero rhythm. Zero.
A smooth jazz tune. The Junker Queen took charge of the melody and killed the entirety of the Waynesville team. Looks like Clearwater is going to get ahead with that play.
I'm just happy to see Clones here with yet another ult. We've talked about before, Clones has the potential for some of the biggest ult plays, and we've seen it before. I'm hoping to see one now to really solidify this lead that Waynesville has.
Earthquake on the Ryan with the Shatter. You know, this is a very big difference compared to the Sigma. We've seen the Ryan played before. They look to like the Ryan a little bit more, wouldn't you say?
I would. I mean, what's a tiny bleeding axe when you have a massive Rhine axe? Am I right?
Yeah. However, the tiny bleeding axe, as you would say, is doing quite a bit, getting in the backlines behind the Ryan. You know, Junker Queen's mobility is really strong.
Hey, we saw right there, folks. Rhine just slammed that JQ.
With 2 HP.
Bigger axe is better. What can we say?
With 2 HP left, too, might I say.
They are now also on the Zenyatta once again, trying to put that Discord orb with emphasis on the JQ, lesser enabling her to do damage.
Yeah. Girthquake on the Ryan, trying to get in, but gets slept on the Ana. Ana can be a hard counter up against Ryan.
In. Wow, what a double from Girthquake.
However, Girthquake might fall here, but he does not. Good support there from the team.
He's looking like he's in the Oklahoma and Tornado Alley right now. Cyclone, or Clones as we call him, doing big work.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Hey, look at him. Getting piece after piece. Once again, potentially popping ult right now.
I was going to say he's more taking this game by storm, but, you know, if you want to go with the Cyclone, that works too.
That's what we call him, the big Cyclone.
Earthquake and Clones working together very, very well to get multiple kills. This is what you need from the team here. You need them to work together to hopefully take this last match.
I think Lemibug is really thriving on this Zenyatta. I think that is the comfortable character. I think we need to have her constantly just on that Zenyatta.
Do you think, Cray?
I do. I do.
I would agree with you. Leamy's doing a lot on the Zenyatta.
Potential ult.
However, the Bob from Lil Droxity on the Ashe shuts down 3 people with the Junker Queen to take the rest of them.
Lil Droxy looking like prime 2016 Drake out here with the work he's putting in. Holy cow.
What are you talking
Hey, what you know about prime 2016 Drake?
about? I don't know a whole lot. I don't think our audience knows a whole lot either. But we'll go with that.
Earthquake with the massive shatter incoming. I can just feel it in my soul. Right here.
Can you feel it shattering your soul?
I can. What a pin! Cross map lineup.
Yep. However,
Axe versus Axe.
the rest of Earthquake's team falls with a rush coming out from Clearwater.
Big shatter!
Big shatter!
And a pin! Swing! Oh,
It just wasn't enough, though.
isn't enough.
With Earthquake being the only one alive, it is incredibly difficult to win that fight.
Big ult coming out of clones.
A little bit too high up with the rest of the team not there to help him. Very unfortunate for Clones, not able to pick anyone off.
This is typically the difference between beginner and experienced Overwatch. Typically in that situation, if you get a big shatter like that, you would then let off your fire strikes, then pin in, and then start swinging. That allows for the most damage while also not letting them get up. Isn't that right, Caden?
It does. Juno coming out from Waynesville. They're down a few members here. But hopefully this Juno really, really strong ult can take it back. But
Earthquake letting that pew pew go to work.
it might just not be enough.
Oh, Transcendent a little
Transcendent,
late.
little late, but it is what we need to keep this fight up. At this point, we're just looking to stall for the rest of the team to come back. Waynesville is kind of in shambles here. They're looking to regroup, swapping to Lucio for the speed. All they need to do is regroup and win one fight, and they can be a little bit more comfortable. Yep, Neko getting that 1 kill on the Junker Queen, which should turn this game around if played correctly.
Oh, what a sleep.
What a sleep. Earthquake has his mech back. Bob coming out from the Ashe. Earthquake getting a mech to Matrix the Bob, taking it down. Matrix takes out all projectiles to be down. However, the Bastion absolutely puts down Earthquake's mech. Not a whole lot Earthquake can do without his mech. Just his little pistol. Lil Droxity. I think he's got a 4-piece.
And
Big
Ash,
bars out there.
Ash with the shadow buff. We saw that the Sombra now only hacks Bob for 3 seconds rather than 10. And that can make a massive impact on how often Ash is played. Because originally you could just go Sombra and completely shut down the ult. Now, we're seeing it firsthand. Lil Droxy putting in that work.
Yeah, Earthquake tried to get back in his mech, but unfortunately fell. And Clearwater is looking to get a full cap here. Waynesville is all they need to do is just hold this point for their life. In overtime, if Waynesville loses this fight, it is game over. And that's exactly what happened. Clearwater full capped, which is incredibly rare on push. Props to Clearwater. Very close match. 2-2 for this Overwatch beginner match. Long game. Hopefully you guys are staying tuned with us.
Lil Droxity, 31-1 with 10,000 damage.
Yeah. In a 10-minute match, that is incredibly good. Looking out there from Lil Droxity. Clearwater's damage seems to be their strong point here. They're doing tremendous things on the DPS side of things, and they're just playing around that really, really well. Is exactly what they like to see, using their strong points to the best they can.
We will now be back. Personally, I've seen very good things coming out of both teams. It really seems like from Clearwater side, it was the first point jitter, just the casual nerves, and now we see them come back from that, doing great things.
Yeah, doing absolutely tremendous things. This entire series has been either way. Not one team has been dominating. Both teams have had their matches, have had their fights, have had their players who are doing a lot for this team. Who do you think right now is looking to be the reason why Waynesville is still in this, the MVP?
If I'm looking at an MVP, I'm giving it Well, it depends what round we're looking at. It actually varies from game to game. Originally, I would have said Girthquake, just constant damage on that tank originally, but then it slowly moved. I was looking at Eggshells doing all that healing, and then at the very end there, it was looking real good from Clones and Leamy Bug on that Zenyatta. I think in my book, everyone has been an MVP thus far.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm going to actually lean into the Eggshells MVP on this match. Eggshells has been 100%. Obviously, we're not done, but Eggshells has been 100% very, very consistent on every single round that is played. Constantly in this and constantly putting high healing numbers, keeping this team alive, doing the majority of the healing for the Waynesville team. So Leamy Bug can do good on the Zen. So Clones can do good, and not to mention Girthquake can play.
Okay, we just got word coming from our coach that it will now be a 4v5 due to time restrictions, obviously. But we're still in this game. We still have the potential to win it. It might be a little harder considering it got really neck and neck at the end.
Yeah, we are in, what is the map? Flashpoint now, right? So with this Flashpoint, very similar to Control. Control, you cap the point and it's kind of king of the hill. Flashpoint is Control, but at a faster pace. Easier to cap, faster to cap, but more points. There's 5 points and there's not round breaks. It is constant, no stopping, 100% all the time. I'm not a huge fan of this game mode. It is very stressful and very high tempo. If you don't find a groove, you can get slammed in the first 3 rounds and that's it.
I absolutely agree. When we were looking at Flashpoint before the patch notes, we saw so much Juno, so much Lucio, so much Tracer. It was so fast paced, and if you blinked and you lost, if you were not completely dialed in. Yeah. And that's what might be what we see here coming from Clearwater, considering it is now a 4v5. Waynesville obviously will try to do our best, give it our most effort and try to clutch out this win, but it is not looking too good right now.
Yeah. Clearwater has found their groove, but it has been back and forth, so maybe this is the way to go. Servasa is banned, and New Junk City is the map that we are playing for Flashpoint. It is an interesting way that this ban works. The losing team basically gets to pick the map. They ban that, and there's only one left, so that's the map they're playing. I'm more of a fan of Servasa. I think New Junk City gets played a little too often. I like the openness of Servasa compared to New Junk City.
Me, on the other hand, I am not a fan of Servaso whatsoever. I think that map just needs to be deleted type B. I think New Junk City should have been the pick, and rightfully so is. It offers many different points on out of the 3, and it just provides so much more versatility rather than Servaso, where it's just open.
See, Servaso's open. What I don't like about New Junk City is moving point to point. You can get caught a lot, and you'll fight team fights that you don't want to fight, or you'll fight team fights where you're down a person, and it makes it really hard to move from point to point. Servasa has a little bit more ways to get around, and so it's a little bit easier to not get caught. As well as, if you're thinking about playing this, Servasa barely gets played. You don't usually get it in a competitive queue. And then if you ever come to a 5v5 or a round 5 situation in this match, like we see here, most people are going to favor New Junk City. So picking Servasa is kind of like a background pick, expecting the other team wouldn't be expecting.
I think where New Junk City is kind of like just dehydrated, dying of lack of water. Servasa's drowning. It's so open, and then on the other hand, New Junk City is so cluttered. And I'd personally rather take that more cluttered feel than just feeling like I'm being poked at from every angle.
Yeah. The choice of opinion there, one's right, one's wrong. I won't say which one's wrong, but I think you guys know.
What a long queue time this is. Moving back to our dad jokes. Dad jokes. What word can you make shorter by adding 2 letters?
What word?
Short. Up.
Wow. The saying is, what did the lunchbox say to the refrigerator?
What did it say?
Don't hate me because I'm a little cooler. However, I'm going to change it the way I like it. What did Caden say to Gray?
What did he say?
Don't hate me because I'm a little cooler.
Really got us chuckling up in this, John.
Losing our voice because we're laughing so hard.
We have been giggling, have had a great time. Once again, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bells, and let's get lit for this match. I am so excited.
I'm excited. This should be a good way to wrap it up. I'd rather a 4v5 than an instant voluntary or involuntary, I guess, because you have to go home, a forfeit, I'd rather see a close match than a forfeit.
Me as well. We are currently looking at a blimp in the background. Wow. Just the map detail coming from Blizzard is so impressive. For those of you who are wondering, I know you're super curious about your co-host Greylanders. He is actually running for Senate. Let's go Gray for Senate.
Yep. You can find him on Instagram at Gray_4_Senate. His manager's right here. That's me, your host.
AP Gov. What a fun class.
AP Gov. If you are in school and you are a sophomore, 15 years of age or above, come find us. And we can give you a voter registration form and then come give that back to us and we'll turn that in so you can vote for Gray Landreth for Senate 2024.
And once again, more big ups towards Waynesville, just the amount of opportunities it can provide. And that's what we're seeing in esports. There's not many programs nowadays that provide as cutting edge tech as esports does. And it really provides so many opportunities. And that's what we're hoping to see Waynesville capitalize on here as we go into the match. Leprechaun on the Torb. Shotgun bullets now using insane damage to this doofist.
Back on the Torb, Neko, as you said. Point is open. Neko falls, but Mouse also falls not an even, I guess. But both teams down 1 DPS here.
We are seeing this potential pocket coming from Eggshells toward the Mauga.
Interesting play. Waynesville decided to go with 1 support and 2 DPS and a tank compared to the usual in a 4v5 you'd want 1 DPS, 1 tank, and 2 supports.
Typically, I don't say this, but I completely disagree with Waynesville on this. I think it is significantly more important to have a good support rather than a good DPS.
Because a good support can also be a good DPS, as we were talking about earlier. But a good DPS cannot necessarily always be a good support.
We also see clones our previous Spara now on Mauga.
Yeah. I am assuming here that maybe Girthquake and Mock Speed had to go home due to the bus routes. I believe they both take the bus. So Clones having to step it up. I like the versatility coming in from Clones. May not be his usual role, but it is the role that he needs to step up, stepping into those shoes.
And that's what we like to see, just, versatility. And in a game like Overwatch where every patch note matters and can change the meta on a snap, versatility and adaptability is what counts. And that's what we're seeing coming out of Clones.
Yeah, although 4v5, this is very hard to win, but, they're putting in their all, so props to Waynesville for doing the absolute most that they can.
Nico going head-to-head with the Doomfist and unfortunately losing.
Waynesville seems to be a little bit scattered here. They need to try and group up and use their 4 people that they have to an advantage. Get an early pick like Clones just got on the Orisa on the Mouse. If they can regroup, it could be a 4v4 and they can hopefully win this team fight.
We are seeing Leprechaun with the Reaper has huge damage output. Maybe swifting the tides the most... Oh, wow.
What a sleep. Canceling the Reaper ultimate.
Sleep.
Eggshells on the Lucio for group healing everyone on once and gets the Doomfist.
Just, wow. Incredible. I, personally, if I was Leprechaun in that situation, would be so frustrated. Because what annoying ability, if used properly, and oh boy, was it used properly just then.
Can be absolutely game-changing.
Eggshells now on the Lucio for that AoE healing.
Neko on the Junkrat, killing Mouse Eggshells Falls, Waynesville has no supports alive because they chose to go with one support rather than the usual two. Leprechaun Falls, and Waynesville's just having a hard time grouping up and playing all together. In a 4v5, you're obviously down one person, so you have to have these 4 people have to have tight synergy.
Yeah, it's all about getting that initial pick, and that's why maybe in this situation I would even go a Widowmaker. That opening pick is the most important, steadying out to a 4v4.
I would disagree. Here, I like what they're trying to go for. They're trying to go for high damage, but unfortunately it's just not working because they're not able to group up. They're always down one person at every single fight. If they can regroup, they can potentially take a fight, especially with the ultimates that they have.
I like to see this Riptire, and we are now seeing a Genji. Genji coming out of Leprechaun. I think a hidden thing that most people don't understand, what is also important, is crosshairs. Typically, in pro play, you see a lot of minimalistic crosshairs. That way it takes up less of your screen, yet you get an accurate depiction of where your ammunition is going.
I run a Y-ring.
Tri-wing.
Yeah, tri-wing. It just looks like a Y on my screen, but I have it tilted a little bit. It looks nice to me. I've played a few, fighting jet games, and it kind of correlated from that.
That makes sense. We know that Captain CSN, our tried and true hit scan on that Widow, uses a dot similar to this. And I think that's kind of the aspect that Clones is going for, that minimalistic look that allows for extreme precision.
Yeah. Very high skill, which we see from Clones, how high skill to use that.
A big beat, potentially game-changing even, can maybe alter this 4v5. Is that a Nano Doomfist?
And the beat to counter the Nano Doomfist, unfortunately the whole team's not there to utilize that beat, but is keeping Eggshells and the Bastion alive for as long as possible. But the Doomfist, the Kiriko, is putting in so much damage, it is hard to play off of that.
I think this Ana is really making a name for herself right now, really supporting her team with that exceptional sleep, that good nano, just really making it hard for Waynesville.
That's going to be game. Waynesville does lose to Clearwater 2-3. Very, very close match. If it was a 5v5, I'm sure it would have been a little bit closer.
Maybe even gone into the new game mode. Oh.
It only goes to 5. But no hate on Clearwater. They played that game absolutely fantastic. Nothing bad to say to Clearwater. Congratulations on the win today. Unfortunately, Waynesville lost, but next week we have a chance to redeem ourselves on this beginner team. Well, guys, it's about the time once again. Gray and I, on the behalf of Waynesville entire esports program, would like to thank you for the audience for tuning in.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as tune in on Thursday to watch us and the experienced Overwatch team take on North County Raiders at 4 p.m. Thank you guys again, and have a tigerific night.